Hey everyone, since Set 2 recently got released, we've all been waiting for at least some big tournaments to find out some results. And at least we have some this weekend. So we had the Ultimate Vanguard Cup. There were quite a few people that attended. A lot of strong players as well in Japan. So we get to see what some of them have been thinking. And is Bractomaya ruining the entire format, or is it fine? We will see. So they had a team event portion, and they also had a singles the next day. So there are some decks that are repeated, but at the same time, we do get to see, you know, what's been working and what's not. So let's start off with the team portion first, because that started like that was the first tournament. Lots of people attending, right? Overall, if you do the maths for this tournament, this team tournament, there were 44 teams. So probably 132 people joined, but you know, since it's teams, you can't share the same ride lines. And they do cut to like a top 16, I think, right? A top 16. So pretty cool. And then the top decks, we have quite a few here. We'll go through them, right? There's some very interesting decks. They don't have the deck. Well, they have the deck log, so I manually put it in. So let's kind of go through it, right? So first place team, we have a Shiranui Oboro. So this one's kind of interesting because it got hit. Like, Shiranui got hit, and this guy has a, wow, what the heck? This guy's got the now energy generator. That's like $1,000. But yeah, Shiranui got hit. So what, like, the early game for this deck got hit. So what is the way to get around that? Well, there is a really good solution, which is you just run the energy Cyclop. Because one, you know, you need a more efficient way to go through your energy, and this is the perfect way to do it. And two, it is one of the better options to kind of get through the early game, right? Have like a card that lets you draw when you guard. So overall, I think this is a nice inclusion because you don't really have anything else to do. You don't have the Shoujo Doji grade 2 plays anymore, so that just kind of works out. They're also running Forktail for extra soul generation. Because you do kind of lose that extra soul from, like, you know, the Shoujo Doji ride, so I guess, you know, that's fine. And to be fair, like, you don't really need to worry about cleaning out your board that much, because now you're probably going to play way less mirrors, right? Especially in teams. You're definitely not going to play as many mirrors. In terms of, like, stuff, though, they're still running the Angel Ladder. Don't forget, Angel Ladder, at worst, is, like, an extra card in soul and a draw card. So it's just overall still very good, but the rest of the deck, I think, is just pretty straightforward. Like 3 Shenri, you know, Strife is still running Esmeralda, because, you know, it's overall decent. Activates your grade 3 dragon, extra restand option. With that, it adds up to 9 restanded. So overall, the deck is still, like, relatively fine, right? Relatively fine. The next deck in the first place team, the Wellstra. So they got another. Does this team all have this? They top 8'd? Yeah, another Wellstra. So this is a pick. Wellstra is a pick that a lot of the players have been bringing for teams as well, just because it's good, right? There's no other way to really put it. It's good. It had tools before, and it got extra tools now. Running the toll build, 3 tolls, and then running one of the Eins, well, extra soul, I guess. So extra soul and draw, if I recall correctly. A draw. So just overall, you know, you do your combo, very straightforward. You have a combo you just consistently do. Build soul, you know, counter charge, do it again until your opponent's dead, right? So that's it. Not really much to say for Wellstra, because it's just been a deck that's been performing. And same with this as well. Labrador, Prism, right? Prism's overall, like, a good deck. That's it. It got some. You run auras. Does it have auras? Or maybe you don't have to run auras anymore because you're not worried about that Shiranui matchup. So they took it out, put in energy cyclers, and then you do the same 5 attacks. 5 attacks is pretty hard to guard for your opponent, and that's that. So nothing really changed here. They changed the starter. That's pretty much it. Then moving on to the second place team. Second place team. Now we see some real changes, right? So first up, we have the Seraph deck. This one is pretty cool. I like it a lot. So you have your 4/4 PRs that you have from before. It's just good. Then you have the DB12 refill. Anyway, you should already have this in your deck. I'll let you call cards. It's great. The main cards here, I think, are the new kind of restander. So this enables you to get 5 attacks. 5 attacks is great when you have a bunch of power and crit. But then they're also running Taste Leech. This might be more significant than the restander, because the restander, like, you don't need to be a NASA scientist to put in your deck. You put in 4 of it, like, straight up. That's it. it's good. It's a great card. But the Taser Age is actually pretty smart as well. So why is this card good? Well, this format is dominated. Well, one of the better decks in this format definitely is something like Nadir. And having Taser Age will let you just kind of cuck your opponent's RPDs, right? It's pretty dirty. But also, like, even against things like Ava, right? They rush you, they call from top 5, they call like a good card. Damn, just rest that. Sorry, call again. Do it again. So, I think I think this is a really, really smart tech, and probably the tech currently, right? Your front row should either be a Restander or a Taser Age. The thing is, the Taser Age will let you live towards the point where you can get ultra value from your Restanders. Because honestly, you probably don't want to play this until you can guarantee you have 10 cards in the prison, and then you can go, oh, so good, plus 25k with a crit, right? Anything below that is kind of in, yeah, okay, but it's only dealing 1 damage, so I can just kind of guard that. Once you get that, that's great. But to get there, this will kind of just cuck your opponent's turns, make them feel really bad. How do they deal with it? Not everyone even runs with that many retires, right? So it can just work out really, really well. So, yeah, I think this is a great include, and probably people will need to include ways to kind of deal with this card, or it's going to be bad days for them. It's a crazy deck. Next, we also have a Unicard. This deck used to be a joke. I know a lot of people have been saying this deck is like really good now. This new card they got is Bifrons. It's actually insane. So you come into play, Counterblast, when you look at top 3, you grab a card, you put another card to soul, and you discard the last card, right? That's really good already. CB1, getting a card, getting a soul. Soul converts into things. It's good. The second effect, though, gives you an out for your energy. So Soul Blast 1 and Energy Blast, I think it's like 3, right? And then you're looking at your deck, you can grab a card of Astro in its name, or a crit, and you put it into your soul. And then if you did, you can call a card from the drop zone with a different name from this unit. And then with a grade less than your Vanguard, and just call it, right? And you don't actually need to be grade 3 for this like second effect, right? You just have to have a I think it's this thing. I forgot the name, but you can use it early on, so you can like kind of push it this as well. But it's crazy when you think about it, right? So one, the first effect kind of nets you a card and a soul. The second one thins out your deck as well, but because you put in like the OG Astra Unicard into your soul, that converts into like a retire and a +1 drive, and then you also get to call. So, like, how many pluses are you getting off one single card? I don't know. I think it's pretty crazy, right? You might notice that even though you're running masks, you have a mask, but you don't have any mask searches. But you have this rock dude who like, you can use the effect early on, and you just put it down, and then at the end of the battle that it like attacked or boosted, you can put it into soul and look at top 7 and grab a grade 3. This is actually a PR though, so it's a bit annoying to get, but then it also converts into like a 15k shield later on, so really, really nice. I think a bunch of these cards are just like insanely good. You have like the mask support from DBT13. I think everyone saw the art for this and was like, wow, it looks pretty cool, but because it's Unica support, it's just bad. But now Unica's like okay, so you can run it. And then you have like this new card from DBT02 kind of replaces, I think, the dragon that you ran before. And then you have also this order that countercharges. Remember that countercharge order that people were hyping up because it had a countercharge, and they realized it was for Unica, so it's like, oh, you know, since it's for Unica, unfortunate, what a waste of a slot. Well, now it's actually good. You can give your Vanguard a crit. You can turn your masks, Biko mask, into the OG, but now at least you can restand and it has a crit. So overall, this deck seems to be pretty decent. I want to really try it out and see if it's any good. Unfortunately, you get the Rock Golem, so this might be hard, but pretty interesting team so far, right? We have Seraph and a Unica on this team. What is the third? The third is actually just a Shiranui. So, whoa, surprise! Well, what do you run in Shiranui? So this guy's not running any Esmeraldas. Just running the Energy Cycler again, right? Except in less high rarity. But again, like I said, it kind of helps you get through the early game. The interesting tech he is running here is he is running this order from set 1 of DivineZ. And what this does is just, it's again an efficient use of your energy. but you get Energy Blast 2 when you play it, and then you look at the top X cards of your deck, where X is equal to the number of empty rearguard slots on your opponent's side of the field, and then you can call a card that is like less than or equal to your Vanguard's grade. And then like if a rearguard was retired this turn from any side of the board, the called unit gets plus 5k. So with Dominate, you can just kind of clear out the board, and then you can use this card to call out a card, and it can kind of help you dig important cards. So if you're missing a restander, this can kind of help you dig for that. So I guess that's pretty cool, but it's just an efficient use of your energy. Otherwise, you're just going to be using this, or just energy blasting 7, right? So another way that Shiranui is building their decks. Next is the third place team. They brought a Luard, so I don't really have much to say about this Luard. He ran some defensive options here, but apart from that, they kind of reverted back to, well, I guess English Luard, right? Pre-Selkion Luard. So nothing really much to say, I don't think. And then they also brought a Raziel. So this Raziel I think this Raziel actually pretty cool. Like, not insane, but it's pretty cool. So you can see here, wow, it's that, order engine for Kera. So, Tastelit. I can't say the name. Taste Fields? Yeah, something like that. And then it's like mini Thegria, right? Mini Thegria. And then you have the full Selgion. So this is a combo. But normally you run like 4 of the orders. So you're, whoa, sick combo. But because in DivineZ 2, they have this new card that lets you just discard a card, and you can search a deck and put an order into the drop, and then you can play that order from the drop. And when you would play it in the drop, it goes back to the bottom of your deck. So these are basically just orders, right? These turn into orders. So you run 4 of this and 2 of this, and then you would just search the order, search this order, and then use the order. You put it back to the bottom of the deck. But that also means you get to like continuously reuse that order. And because it's at the bottom of the deck, as long as you don't search the deck, you'll never trigger it again, right? So that's pretty cool. But it also means like, because these cards are like, how do you say, like, unit cards are more malleable. They can be used for multiple situations, right? If you ran 4 of the order, they're like 4 cards that you can only play once per turn that have 0 shield, right? That's not cool. But with this, you can play these multiple times a turn. You just play them down because they can be bodies on the board, right? And although like the effect only activates when you play it from hand, it's still a 5k shield, it's still an 8k body. It's just overall like better in my opinion. So running more of this means you can run less of this, and it just lets you kind of, put at least like push, throw it down to bash with, things like that. Much more options there. Also, we have new support for the ride. Not really for Raziel. We got the grade 2, so that's really nice too. And that's pretty much it, right? Pretty cool. And then the last deck for the third place team is just a Varga. All right, nothing really special. Varga was the most represented deck. The one key support they got was just this. So this card is Roxay. It just stops intercepts, so your Varga can always get those retires out when you play this down. And then it basically just converts into another card. But it's cool that it just kind of stops intercepts and kind of locks them there, right? These extra pluses back. Otherwise, the rest of the deck is pretty much the same. I know some decks have been... We've been seeing, like, if you look at top decks, a lot of decks have been running, like, some defensing roars. I can see them just running... It's just a really, really good card. Right? Just a really, really good card. All right, so I think those are the top 3 decks. And then the last team we have is another Varga. So, again, the Roxays, it's pretty much that. It's just another Varga. And then we have a Nadir. So I think this is the first Nadir we've seen so far. Interesting tech. They're running this 4 RPDs, right? And then 4 of the new person or new thing that pops out. So it's like secondary RPD, I guess. But then they're also running Headhunters. So this Headhunter is quite interesting. It minuses Counterblast costs. So it can make the entire deck, I guess, like more... Counterblast efficient, which would be pretty cool. If you look at what they're running, though, it is quite Counterblast heavy. So first off, this one doesn't require anything, but it's like a retire. So you've got a tech for that dirty Taser Age kind of matchup, I guess. But then you also have this old kind of revival card, Counterblast 1, really key there. It helps. The Headhunter helps there. You also have this one. It kind of draws 2, but it gets -1 for each, -1 counterblast for each card in your bind zone, right? So it'll eventually become very low, but then if you want to use it early, your headhunters can help with that. And I think this one requires a CB as well, but yeah, so when you alchemagic everything up, a few of these require a lot of CB. I don't think this requires, oh, this does. So if you alchemagic a bunch of these cards, they will require more CB, but the headhunter can help mitigate those costs, and eventually, I guess, when you get your advantage engine going, your CB cost will be very less. Very less. So interesting tech there. And then the last deck that we're going to see is a Bractomire. I think it's the first Bractomire that we've seen so far. I mean, seems like, I think people have been rating it quite high, but in terms of showing so far, it's been pretty normal, pretty normal. The interesting tech here is the Falcracia. So a lot of these Bractomire decks I've seen have been running this. Just overall, really good way to put targeted cards, I guess, into the soul from drop. And then, the secondary effect is not really that useful. It's just the first one. But it can get, a bunch of power. So it lets you kind of push early. And every single damage you get early on just makes your later turns insanely good. So that's one thing to notice. Also, they're running this order, which is just literally just a soul charge 1. And then you can call a grade 3 or less card from your soul, and then it gets 5k. So it's pretty good. It'll get it'll get needed targets out of soul, and you will be soul charging quite a lot, because a lot of the Bractomire cards just look at top X and soul charge whatever you want, which could be all of them. So if they're all non-triggers, you're thinning out your deck, and then this will help you also just call them out that you need to, and then just kind of work with that, whatever you're missing, right? So overall, pretty crazy. I think, this deck should be pretty good, but people are still figuring out builds. We've seen a bunch of different builds for these, but it is rated decently high. So that is all the teams, the top 4 teams. And then onto singles. For singles as well, they did cut to top 16. You can see 66 players join, right? Lots of Varga, lots of Raziel as well, and third, lots of Bractomire, right? And then here, and then the top cut, right? Converted. All the Zorgas did really well. Lots of Zorgas. Is it how many Nadirs were there? Zorga Nadirs. So there's 4 Zorga Nadirs, and then 3 of them made top cut. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And then Bractomir, it's the second one. All the Vargas died. All the Vargas died, okay? Not so unparalleled. So, Drajuld actually won, so Satapon. And then Chinbaki also came second with Raziel. And we will see some of these lists already, alright? Murakami came third with Varga, and then fourth place was Raku with Bractomire. So, pretty cool. We will look at all these lists. Let's kind of go through them. So, in terms of the first place in Satapon's list, we have the Drajuld, right? What is so cool about this list? Well, he's actually playing the Bifrons, right? So, I told you how insane this card is. The first one, again, look at top 3, grab a card to hand, put a card to soul, and then discard the last card. This can actually convert to some pretty insane things, right? Helps you dig for your Drajuld, which is great, right? Anything that helps you dig is good. But you can also randomly soul charge a Drajuld into soul, and then you can pop off at turn 3. That's pretty good. And then for the second effect, right, you can't use it. So it's mainly for the first effect. But then, the rest of the deck, it's just the normal stuff that you've been seeing, right? The Drajuld support is just all there still. And then the energy cycle is to help you get through that, early game and even late game, right? So pretty cool, Drajuld. Nice. Retires. Remember, you can retire the whole back row, and there's a lot of good cards now that are in the back row. If you think of things like the Bractomire, they have a really good... Their Restander sits behind their Vanguard. Usually very protected, but you can pop it off, and that can be annoying for them. Makes them have to, play a bit more careful, right? And it doesn't target. Drajuld's... as far as I remember, right, you just retire the back row, it doesn't target. So, hey, nothing can save you at the moment. Then second place, we do have the Raziel. I think we saw this list before. I've talked about the kind of order, and then the the order dude, and then the combo. This one, I think they're running one different card, and that they have the dog counter charger, so an extra counter charge is okay, but that's pretty much Raziel in a nutshell, right? Nothing else really too special. Varga as well, so the new card. Roxay, great. And then 4th place was another Bractomire. And we see the same combos here, right? So we got the Falcratia, only 3 of them this time. I think they're running more copies of Ordum, which is like okay. I don't think it's like that insane. But also running 2 of this order, so we can see some, you know, see some commonalities popping up with what's good. And then we have the Shunui. So I think we've seen the Shunui already because not many people have this. I don't think it's very expensive and not that many people top, right? So yeah, pretty much the same Shunui Obro deck. Another one here. So I think this is also a similar build to the one we saw before, right? But this one has 4 Falcratia and running 3 of this. So yeah, Bractomire, all good. Dieful So Dieful this one's been kind of hiding for a while. We've been wondering what's been happening with Dieful. It got some new support. So it has this new Dieful that came out in set 2. Adds some on-hit pressure and lets you put stuff from drop into soul, which is pretty important, right? So when it attacks a grade 3, you put a drop card, or you put a Dieful Doll from your drop zone into your soul, and then for each of that card's grade, this unit gets plus 5k, and then at the end of the turn, this unit binds. So all of that is nice, and then the second effect is that when it attacks a grade 3 or higher Vanguard and hits, you can retire one of your opponent's units. So it adds on-hit pressure. It's very big. Kind of what Dieful Doll needs, just extra pressure, and then, you know, extra power, I guess, so you can kind of win quicker. That's the main problem, right? So pretty nice. Next we have is a Mygo. Yeah, it's okay, right? Not really gonna go too deep into it. Another Chaos. So Chaos, pretty. I think people have been trying out Chaos quite a bit in Japan, and it's pretty good with the new PR it's got. And we see it quite often now. Really strong rush, so overall nice. And then another Dieful Doll list, so similar to the one before. This one is running, you know, 3 of this instead. In case you haven't known, a lot of people have been running more copies of this, like 3 and 4. So just extra put your triggers into the bind zone and they'll let you guard them is really good. And it also gets 10k, so extra power is nice. Messiah. So Messiah's kind of interesting, right? When you think about what happened to Stride decks, is that they're forced to run their entire Stride line, and then everyone's like grade 2 game became like pretty bad. Even Luad is like pretty weak now because you don't have that Selgion combo. You have to rely on like painkillers and things like that. So technically you can still run it. In the West, we are still running that kind of combo. But I remember like there was some talks after Houston came out for Springfest that like Messiah had a really good grade 2 game. Kind of counterintuitive in a way when you think about it, because like this deck really doesn't work until you Stride. But you do have like one, right? You have, you know, Messiahs that you can put down early that you can just kind of bash Riv. And then because of the new order, you can call them back, but then also lock your opponent's reguards. And you have to remember that when you lock your opponent's reguards, they disappear at the end of your turn. So it's like you push early and then you can push again while killing your opponent's stuff is not bad. And also you have the grade 2 energy cycler as well. So pretty cool, like pretty interesting idea. I didn't have Brandgate. OT, all good. And then after that, another Raziel. So this one is not running the order build anymore, right? This one actually just a more standard build, standard ride line. I'm just running like plain good stuff, I guess. Energy cyclers, some of the grade 2s from set 1. I don't know, is this like really that good? I feel like a lot of people have been just like not like they don't like it that much. You know, there's other better cards to run, but whatever. And then another Raziel. So, is this no, not Raziel. My bad. Another Thegria. So this is not another Thegria. This is the only Thegria. But if you've been seeing like a lot of these Catalysts as well, especially Thegria, even on the casual level, they just run one Raziel in the deck because, you know, it's just a nice option that when you're about to deck out, you put all your crits back, you have a few extra turns, and they're all stacked with crits, right? But otherwise, it's just like a normal Thegria deck with, you know, basically all these glitter decks got the new PR that lets them kind of combo off early. With Thegria, interesting that they're not running like the kind of order engine, I guess, but you run quite a few orders already. Put in Selgion, and it's all good. And then after that, we got the Nadir. So basically, all the Nadirs died in like top 16, so they're all here. There's some kind of interesting builds that are floating around. So first we have is like this one that only runs RPD, another new thing. This is grade 1 that kind of soul charging at 5k. So another way to get soul. But one thing that also noticed, like a lot of them are running a lot of these the Headhunter, right? So kind of honestly, I feel like it's quite a bit of a surprise tech, just like because they value that counterblast so much. But then in terms of like orders, right? This one's only like 2 of everything, but also interesting with like blitz orders, they have like 2 and 2. So as you can see, like 4 normal PGs lets you run 2 Lascaria, but it's not really a Lascaria blitz order. It's like you can kind of splash it into everything. But it's like a 20k shield that lets you play multiple blitz orders, and we all know about Zorga is really, really good. Well, it's more like Stoic Care is pretty good. Blitz order that lets pumps up pretty big. So pretty nice there. Just a heads up as well, all the Nadirs are running just the normal Nadir ride line, I guess, if you can call it, because it does let you soul search top X, top 7 for like an order, which is pretty good. Well, the old ride line kind of doesn't. So kind of up to you, but all the Nadir decks are running this. The next one here is kind of a more traditional, well, not really traditional Nadir, but probably the more theoretical one that people have been thinking of. So you have like the 4 RPDs and the 2 of the grade 2 dude. No headhunters in this, right? No headhunters in this. So again, like just saying, this feels like, the build that a lot of people have been thinking of. Running actually draws as well. And then Philanders, and then Bell. So you do bind a lot in this deck now, but then Bell, that means Bell gets a lot of power, right? That's pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. It's nice. To accelerate your bind, we have this the Seagull Goose dude. So lets you bind more, and then bind makes Bell stronger, and then lets you put more orders there, so then you can kind of like use your orders more, right? So one of a lot of things as well. So that's pretty interesting. And then the last Nadir list, right? This one is running no RPDs, right? No RPDs. So we have like all these Nadir lists are running all these different ideas, right? But they're running 4 of the new dude, and then running 4 headhunters as well. And then here is like kind of the order lineup. Take your pick. So RPDs, no RPDs. I think RPDs are pretty important. Just saying, don't go into the no RPD life. But that's all the list from set 2. I think it's quite interesting, right? We have a bit of everything. And nothing seems to be like too insanely like top tier at the moment. I think the idea that Bractomire will be killing everything and ending the game is greatly exaggerated. I actually think a lot of players are like respecting it and bringing more cards that can kind of like counter it, or playing in a way that makes it not OP. So pretty interesting. But yeah, pretty cool look at the set 2 meta, and hopefully we'll see more of it soon, right? With more tournaments coming up. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you all later, right? Bye.